Good.
Campbell's.
Good.
Campbell's soup is giving you bioengineered meat. It's official. Their own CEO mentioned that in a whistleblower sting recording. Let's get into it. I'm Rosemarie Havsom. I'm back again to let you know that you can take full control of your life by what you choose to put at the end of your fork.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
The recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza says he usually worked remotely for Campbell's headquarters, based in Camden, New Jersey. But thinking he'd be discussing his salary with Bally, he says the recording taken in person at a restaurant.
They couldn't think for themselves. I'm like, you dumb
Garza says he felt sick after the rant, deciding to go to his direct supervisor in January, keeping the recordings to himself.
He had never had any disciplinary action. They had never written him up for poor work performance.
Garza says no one at Campbell's ever followed up, and it's taken him 10 months to find a new job, calling the way the canned soup company handled it simply terrible.
They have a motto, like we treat you like family, here at Campbell's, come work for us, we treat our employees like family. That's not the case.
We did just receive a statement from Campbell's. It says, quote, if accurate, the comments in the recording are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company. We are actively investigating this matter.
Campbell's Soup, the legendary family company that started back in the 1800s to produce hearty tinned soup and other preserves for families. Well, it's all over because in an undercover sting, a former employee broke what would be the thing that breaks the internet to tell us what some have long suspected, especially nutritionists have suspected, that Campbell's Soup is not all about good. It's actually really bad. And that includes bioengineered meat, which has been confirmed by a CEO of that company in an undercover sting by a former employee. It's all over. Or is it? Because it's become a staple of American homes, and it's been marketed as the go-to tinned soup. So for those who don't remember or maybe haven't heard, but a certain Gen X would remember Campbell's chicken noodle soup as the go-to for staying at home and feeling sick, but mom would make you that Campbell's chicken noodle soup or saltine crackers, remember that, to go with it, to make you feel mysteriously better, and with a glass of ginger ale. Those were the days, because maybe there was a chance that the Campbell Soup ingredients at that time were actually real ingredients. But unfortunately, what do we have now in the 21st century? We have bioengineered or lab-grown meat. Now, if it's bioengineered, it's kind of questionable as to which it is. Is it lab grown? Because if it's lab grown, then that means that they took a few cells from an actual chicken and then they grew it in the lab until it became meat. This is so disturbing and so disgusting on so many levels, because not only are we in the throes of having our food sources completely tampered with and completely degraded and completely made to be fake than ever before in the history of humankind. Now, some will say that it's technology and that we're leaning towards saving the climate so that cows aren't pooping and methane gas killing off the environment and causing climate change. But it's more than that. People say, oh, it's the ethical treatment of animals, so therefore we don't have to worry about animals being slaughtered for us to eat. Now, there is some merit to how things are done when it comes to killing animals in order to eat. When it's done in a humane way, then okay, we can understand that. But forcing people to go and have 3D printed meat or bioengineered meat, where there's some question about the nutritional value of these types of pseudo meats.
I've got this 3D printed steak from Redefined Meat that is meaty and fine.
Why does it look like plastic? Plastic, Milo. It looks gross.
This is the 3D printed steak. Here's how it's made.
Okay, I've been wanting to compare this to a regular steak for ages, because there's two main ways we 3D print steaks. The first is with ingredients trying to imitate meat. Muscle-like components are pushed through a nozzle. An inkjet printer then spreads the meat juice, and a binder jet spreads powders like protein or sugar. The second is bioprinting. This process prints cell-based meats, which in theory is identical to the real thing, minus pollution and death. Scientists are still figuring out the best way to do this, but right now printing meat pixel by pixel looks promising. So my steak is made the first way, and for comparison,
this is a regular steak and
that have not been verified yet. We cannot accept to always being pushed to take on food that's not real. Because what is that doing to your body on a cellular level? It is degrading your body, and it's degrading your immune system, making you less able to fight common infections. So what does that mean over time? If you take on a diet of bioengineered meat, of monosodium glutamate, and all kinds of other chemicals and preservatives, because remember, MSG is supposed to trick your taste buds and your brain into thinking that the food tastes good when actually it doesn't. It also makes you crave more of that food. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the steady progress of degrading and lowering people's ability to fight illness and infection, and also for people to have cognitive awareness, because the food, the fake food, is not able to be properly absorbed into our bodies. Now, unless you change the DNA of a human being to accept these new DNA altered or moderated or fake or lab-grown meats, unless you have that connection, you're still going to be in a deficit when it comes to the kind of nutrients that you can absorb. Now, an easy fix for this is to say people buy real food. But what is real food? Well, sometimes it means going the extra mile and finding the local farmers who raise chickens that are free range and have free range eggs, and also has ethically treated cattle to provide fresh meat, especially that is grass-fed and grass-finished. It's so crazy to see how people are becoming more and more accepting. We look at it and we see, okay, Bill Gates, this tech guru, who's now all of a sudden some pseudo health expert, definitely in quotation marks, is now telling people, oh, we've got to cull the population of the world because there's too many people and not enough food. But hey, in order to take care of the amount of people and the lack of food, let's bioengineer food. Let's have lab-grown food. Let's have people forget it. Let's have people eat insects. How about that? And now more and more, we're seeing these ideas are creeping into the mainstream food supply and in food supply experts who are supposed to be telling us about nutrition. Food experts and researchers are now starting to buy in to the myth that you can just eat anything and it won't affect you negatively. Well, I've got news for you. If you continue to eat a diet that is completely devoid of nutrients and minerals and the things that the body needs to build itself. So the macronutrients that the body needs, we need proteins, we need fats, we need carbohydrates, we need micronutrients, which are the minerals and the vitamins that we need. Now, they're going to say, well, we can just bioengineer those particular macros and micronutrients, But what is that doing to our bodies?
It said that the biggest threat caused by genetically modified foods is that they can have harmful effects on the human body, and they believe that a consumption of genetically engineered foods could be a massive contributor to the development of diseases where we are seeing a resistance or an entire immunity to antibiotics. Let me repeat that. In 2013, this study questioned whether or not these genetically modified foods were creating an immune response that was resistant to antibiotics, meaning that they were creating infections that could possibly be resistant to antibiotics.
Our bodies were not meant to eat things that are not food. And when we're starting to eat non-food elements, which we've been progressively doing from about the mid-1980s until the present, we're going to be in such a place where food won't even exist anymore. Now, just go with me for a second. If all we need are components that the brain recognizes, so for example, all of these enriched foods, so enriched bread and enriched flour and all of those things that have been removed from the food and then re-added to the food through chemical processes, imagine, we may not even need real food down the road. Who's to say that we won't just need some sort of a supplement or some sort of a pellet? Kind of like what they use for chicken feed when they used to just use chicken feed. It's crazy to think that this is okay. It's not okay. And when you think about how many people have had so much trust in the brand of Campbell's soup, and now to hear this, I don't even care if the CEO in question was high or not, because apparently he liked to go to work under the influence of edibles, of cannabis edibles. So I don't know. The point is that if this is the mindset and the attitude of these CEOs that are pumping out poison for the general public to consume, what do you think that that means? Because if the CEOs don't like it for themselves, they're saying, hey, we just give this to the poor. And beyond the racist comments that were made about their Indian co-workers, and beyond the ideas that people that are poor don't deserve healthy food, this is so abysmal and so disgusting on so many levels. People, look out for yourself. Find people who actually raise chickens in a clean environment. Of course, people who are vegetarian or people that are vegan would say, well, lab engineered food or 3D printed food is better than the real thing. Well, unfortunately, we can't go there because we need real food that helps to nourish our bodies and not to take away from what we need in order to think, feel, move, and act. This is something that is far reaching, and people better wake up and start to realize that these big food companies don't care about you. They don't care about you at all. And the fact is that the sicker that you get, then you get to go into the whole cycle of the sick care system, the medical insurance system, the poor food system, and the lingering illness, sickness, and eventual death system. This is coming if you don't pay attention and start taking care of yourself, especially Black Americans. We are too ready to just eat anything that tastes good, looks good, feels good. We've got to get over that and start reading the labels of what you're eating and paying attention to things like bioengineered and enriched. Whenever there's a label that says enriched, that means that something was not only stripped away, but what's going back into it as so-called enriched is chemicals. These are going to wreak havoc on your body, cause you to be in that position where you cannot lose the weight when you're overweight and obese and you can't lose it. It's also going to be just inflaming your body. So one of the symptoms is obesity. Another symptom is high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and high cholesterol. If you don't look at what you're putting on your plate or in your bowl, as in the case of Campbell's chicken noodle soup, you're going to need a lot of help down the road. But it's not all bad news. The good news is that once you start to feed your body real food, once you start to detox yourself from these foods that are not good for you, your body then can recalibrate and come back even stronger than it was before. This is the bottom line of avoiding illnesses and avoiding communicable diseases by eating real food, doing the things that keep you healthy. Good sleep, exercise, sunlight, drinking water, managing your stress, and eating in moderation. These things help you live a better, richer life. So what do you think about Campbell's and the big discovery that there's bioengineered meat in their soup? Comment it down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And remember that I too have a YouTube channel. That is Havsom, H-A-V for Victor, S-O-M for Mother. We'll see you next time. Bye.